Okay guys, so this is the WPL C14 ready to run version. What I am going to be doing today is probably the only upgrade you can easily do to the ready to run, and that will be to install a different battery. Now the batteries I have picked here are both from a WPL Toys. This is a lithium polymer pack. It's 2S, and this is also 2S from the 12428 model. Both of them are good, and the best thing about both of them is they both have standard Dean's type plugs here. That's very important because the standard battery in this RC here, not terrible, at least they gave it to you, but it is a 6 volt. To step it up to 7.2 would be safe, and it should be pretty effective. The main thing is this connector. So I will have to replace the connector. As you could tell, this is a non-standard connector, basically proprietary to this model. I would like to simply just solder on a regular Dean style connector as I have right here. I have an original male version and a couple XT plugs, and then a completely fake cheap connector here. But all in all, they're basically the same. They are still relatively small. As you could tell, half of this one connector is basically the same size as the standard plug. So you won't have any issues getting it into the battery tray as is. And make sure that when you're picking a battery, I already checked, but both of these do fit. As you could tell, I could put them both in here, and once the wires are plugged back in, this will just easily close. The same thing with this other one. I could also stick this one in here, and you really don't need any further modification. So make sure before you pick a battery pack, I just happen to have these two already from my WL Toys, that you do a test fit and make sure that it sticks in there. Otherwise, you will have to do some further modifications, which at this point, it looks like without changing the receiver board and the ESC, there's really nothing else you can do. So we'll see how it is. You saw that speed run I did earlier with my Venom speed meter. It only got about 4 kilometers an hour. I did it a couple times to make sure it was correct, and it is 4 kilometers an hour in standard form. We're going to basically keep the same motor. I'm not upgrading the motor yet. We will just upgrade the battery pack. I'm going to solder on a couple of these connectors right here. And also the best thing is it gives you the ability to use your own hobby grade charger. Now, as you know, this one was bundled with pretty slow USB style charger, which I'm not a fan of, but they gave it to you, so that's nice. But now you could use your own plugs. Once you solder on some connectors, it's a pretty quick process. I'm going to give you kind of an overview here of how to do that kind of quick. In case you're interested, just ask me in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do a in-depth demonstration on how to solder connectors. Okay, so now that it's done, it is time to test it. Let me first put on the remote, plug the car in, and I'll show you guys right now. Ran into a big problem. Hopefully, it'll be easier to spot right away. Let me connect the LIPO. So lights work, we have power, but get this, there's no steering. There's no power at all, nothing. The car is definitely on, nothing. So how about this? Let's try the original battery pack. I also soldered the other female connector to the original connector just in case something went wrong. And guess what? Something went wrong. So let me just make sure that the ESC board itself isn't fried for whatever reason and that this thing actually works. So lights are on, we got steering, and we got also drive. So the only situation here really must be the battery. Let's try the other battery here. They're both the same voltage anyway, and once again we got nothing. The lights work, but we got nothing. So basically this leads me to believe that a battery upgrade to anything other than 6 volts here, even something only about 1.2 volts more, is not going to work for the WPL here. So the lesson here is, if you get yourself ready to run, you could try to attempt an upgrade here, but you won't be able to really do anything other than maybe put in a 180 motor here. This comes with a 120. You could probably get a 180, stick it in there. But you cannot upgrade the servo. The wires are non-standard wires. You can't upgrade the remote. You can't upgrade even the battery pack. I'm very surprised you can't even upgrade the battery, guys. I really thought at least that would work. But if anyone spotted any kind of mistakes here in my process, or if they have been able to put in a larger battery pack with the original ready-to-run system, please just let me know in the comments. I'll be very grateful, and I'll try this all over again. Thanks.